How we doing, people? It's AJ here. I'm actually starting off this segment here on Guys Gabbing Gridiron. So Tex and I are going to be doing our biggest surprises and our biggest disappointments so far through the 2022 NFL season. And for me, biggest surprise, I think it's got to be the New York Giants, Tex, because I
Agreed.
mean, just just the moments that Brian Dable has had, and everyone goes, "Oh, you gotta give the rookie head coach time." Well, I can't believe this, but if you go by a team that did not, well, if you look at their draft choices last year and this year, Thibodeau having some stuff going on, didn't really hear a lot from the rookies this year. Daniel Jones still being there. They had released Blake Martinez because of some salary cap issues. Kenny Galladay not involved in the offense. There wasn't any room to add players. You had to go by the draft and just coaching. And Brian Dable could potentially set the standard for, hey man, when are we going to start winning games? There's some times when you run an NFL team and the fans are going, I like him. I see the change, but when are we going to start winning games? You look at Daniel
Mm-hmm.
Jones. He seems capable. And listen, by capable, I mean Trent Dilfer, but that's okay. Saquon Barkley is healthy and doing well. Am I buying it because it's a contract year? Not really, but he's doing well. What the Giant
Mm-hmm.
fans have wanted to see since his rookie year. It's been a while. The wide receivers has been doing okay. If I had to go by the best guy in this unit, it's Darius Slayton, in my opinion. There's tight ends. We never heard their names before, but they're moving the ball, they're scoring, and the defense is holding its own. Last year, it kind of looked like a Broncos situation where it's like the defense is fine, but could you score the ball in the end zone for crying out loud? This year, they got together. And as soon as I saw Brian Dable go for the 2 point conversions, where it's either we're going to win the game or we're going to lose this game, I don't care about my reputation right now. And he made it. He's got brains, he's got guts, and he's got the glory to go with it. Brian Dable, if he's not coach of the year, it's an abomination. My biggest surprise for this year. Tex, what do you got?
Yeah, it's really hard to go against the G men for this. I'm certainly with you. They're why not the other team in New York? About the Jets? They have had some good drafts and just a change of mentality under Sala. Sauce Gardner, who's been one of the best players in the league, one of the best corners for sure. I thought he was one of the best players in the draft, and they certainly hit on that. Quinnen Williams has been a Pro Bowl caliber player this season. And yeah, their style's a bit old fashioned, but it's getting results. I thought they were going to be 5-12 and one of the worst teams in the AFC, but they're hanging tough. They could break that season for the first time. So I'm going to go with them as the biggest surprise, though Giants certainly got a really good case too.
I mean, outside of Zach Wilson still trying to learn, and he's had 2 injury stints. And I'm not liking the play
Yep.
calling from Matt LaFleur personally because, and some of the biggest Jet fans will tell you, hey, it's 3rd and 2. Why are we trying to throw the ball past 15 yards? And relatively recently, it seems like, hey, if Garrett Wilson isn't open, it's going to be 4th down. This running offense
Mm-hmm.
is superb. The passing needs work.
Yeah.
My thought, listen, I am okay with dinking and dunking because if you're going to throw the pick and you're not comfortable like Zach Wilson is at this moment in time, listen, just make the play short, simple, because when he gets hurried, it's disastrous. But even so,
Yep.
even with guys who don't exactly have a vote of confidence for being under center, this team overall is winning games. Can't
Mm-hmm.
knock it. All
No, you
right.
can't.
For my biggest disappointment, after a 7-0, I believe, start last year, playoff hopes, a new giant quarterback extension, head coach extension. We've had players brought in, a first round pick used on a wide receiver, a second round pick used on a tight end when a veteran tight end is starting and not going anywhere. Well, he's hurt now. The Arizona
Yeah.
Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals, what is going on? You're being laughed at. You see, the Rams, they won a Super Bowl. Their offensive line is in shambles. They're less a wide receiver, a linebacker. You know, it's not doing well over there. But that's okay because they won a
Nope.
Super Bowl. What happened? You have a quarterback who is constantly being questioned about his work ethic, if he gives a damn, and he's got weapons. He does. So when Hopkins was suspended, Rondale Moore's coming around, Zach Ertz, Hollywood Brown. Then you had James Conner, Eno Benjamin that just got released. Okay. So if he comes back into this week, Hop, Robbie Anderson, I believe Hollywood Brown's coming back. Second round pick
Mm-hmm.
rookie at tight end. A decent running back duo, one of them's a rookie. Defensively, this team is okay, but guess what? You cannot rely on your defense every single time because even Buda Baker, who I think is one of the best safeties in the league,
Yep.
the fact that he's in the locker room screaming at everybody, I'm tired of losing at home. We have to put in more work. We have to watch more film. I'm sorry, what if it's Hard Knocks or not? Under your emotions, when you're screaming like that in the locker room, the truth comes out. So
Yep.
clearly, it wasn't just Kyler. There's a work ethic problem going on in that team. Now, listen, the Raiders, you could argue that they're the worst right now. And even the fact that Derek Carr and Devontae Adams are questioning their players and their teammates, saying not everybody's all in, not everyone's putting in the work. The last time I heard somebody say that was J.J. Watt, and he had authority because he's one day going to be a Hall of Famer, and he is, in my eyes, Mr. Houston Texan. Whatever you're doing, Arizona, figure it out because this looks like years of disappointment written all over it.
It's true. Okay, for my disappointment, I have a three-way tie. I have three quarterbacks who have really disappointed this year.
Three.
Two of them will not be very surprising. Number one, Russell Wilson.
Oof.
Lowest scoring offense in the NFL. You got signed to a $250 million deal. You were supposed to be the guy who was the next great Broncos quarterback since Peyton Manning, and your impact has been minimal.
The pain.
I understand that there has been some difficulty. You know, Jerry Jeudy and Javonte Williams have missed a lot of time. Nathaniel Hackett has not been very steady at all.
And doesn't know how
I
to read a
get that.
clock.
Say what you want about that, but yeah, still at a certain point, your borderline Hall of Fame guy needs to do better. Next up, not surprisingly, Aaron Rodgers, the guy who complains about the receivers he has after taking up so much money and forcing Davante Adams to be gone. Well, that's on you, buddy. I mean, we get it that
True.
Christian Watson had the week 1 drop, yada, yada, yada. But we know that Watson can play. We saw it against the Cowboys. At a certain point, this dude had a man bun, looked like he wanted to become a shaman in Central America or something like that. Then after that, he had some gray hair. It was all scraggly looking. The first quarter against the Bills looked like he didn't even want to be there at all. I got no clue what's up with Aaron Rodgers. Then the last couple weeks, he starts to look like an all-pro again. I don't get it. This was my team that I thought would represent the NFC in the Super Bowl because I thought Rodgers was still an MVP caliber candidate and that they'd have some of these guys step up. The run game has been solid, but the defense has really struggled. I thought they'd have a top defense, but that has not happened. Still, Rodgers, you are responsible for a lot of the blame. My third quarterback of disappointment, Jameis Winston.
Really?
He's not taking a lot of heat. I know he's been hurt at times this year. I really thought he was going to guide the Saints to some big things this year. Has not happened. Even if he had been healthy, still may not have happened. Under Dennis Allen, this team has just not looked the same. And yeah, all three of these quarterbacks and their teams have been very disappointing for me.
Now, if you said Baker Mayfield over Winston, I'd understand. I just don't think that the sample size has been large enough and he lost his starting job.
Well, yeah, if Winston loses a starting job, it's pretty disappointing considering what he did last year before his injury.
True.
Well, that about wraps it up for me. Anything more on the surprising and disappointing scale?
Outside the Raiders being a mess, that's easily could have made the other choice because, again, Raiders or Cardinals, when you have guys in the press and in the locker room questioning guys who have a roster spot if they care, if they put in work, there's trouble, there's problems, nothing good comes out of it. And that's all I have.